What's up, YouTubenites? Welcome in. It is Thursday. It is a Shakers week, and let's see. I hadn't actually picked what I wanted to play yet, but let's just say the word. All right, we are back. Welcome in, everyone, to the Shakers of the Week. I have to say this. We kind of had to scramble to pull this crew together tonight. And I'm so grateful with the panel that we ended up with. Some real dedication here. We wanted to make sure that this show was going to happen. And let's start with Chris. Say what's good to the people.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Laura, I hope it's okay with you if I share the good news that you gave me yesterday. But hey, guys, if you like seeing me on the panel, you're going to see a lot more. I'm here to stay. So I'm really excited about that. And no longer subbing, actually in the lineup. I'm really excited.
I am honored to have you. Honored to have you.
Thank you so much. Let's grab that bell icon and smash it like you're the Hulk, pounding Loki's face into the ground over and over again. And then like, share, and subscribe. Let's get on that.
Very good. Awesome intro. Yeah, guys, again, Chris, Dr. Yo-Yo is going to be a permanent Shaker crew member, so welcome, welcome. Next up, we got Phil. You guys probably already know him. He's like famous on Instagram. One True Nerd King. What's up?
Hello. I thought this was a totally different meeting, but you know, it was filling out like my Tinder profile, and I thought I'd click the wrong link. I'm good. Thank you for having me. Always an honor. Always good to hang out with my CoverPrice friends. You know, it's a nice, long, rich history of some of the coolest people in the community. So I am pleased to be here and very thankful. Thank you.
Yeah, your hair game is on point too. You came representing.
It is a point. That is the only thing I can do. Okay, you get to a certain age, you got to keep what you've got. I refuse to do a comb over. I do a comb up. So this is what it does.
It works perfect. And last but not least, Black Crown Comics. Lando, say what's up.
What's up, everybody, guys? Hi to the chat, panel, Laura, CoverPrice. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped because I'm finally able to hang with you guys. But there's another reason why I'm pumped. Guys, 7 days away from finally being able to watch Deadpool. No more guessing what's going to happen. We're finally going to know. We're finally going to know.
So tired of the guessing too. Honestly, I can maybe start to look at the internet again because I'm tired of all these people coming out here with theories and spoilers and everything else. I'm like, man, just enjoy a movie again. But I don't.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, well, there you go, guys. This is your crew for tonight. Again, welcome into the Shakers. We have an interesting list. If you guys are new to the channel or if you're old, either way, this list comes from our friends at CoverPrice, focusing on new high sales or the most interesting sales found on their daily Shaker list. This list changes several times daily, so make sure to check it out to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. First Shaker, what do we have, Chris?
Well, before I get into the Shaker, Laura, I'm going to encourage everybody in the audience to stick around for after the list because we got John from CoverPrice coming on, and he says that he has something really exciting to debut.
Yeah, we don't even know what it is, right?
We don't know what it is. He says he's got something exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. As a subscriber myself and a user of the platform, I love seeing new features, so I can't wait. All right, number one Shaker. We got all Select Comics 70th anniversary special number one variant cover by Marvel in 2009. In 2009, Marvel timely celebrated its 70th anniversary by publishing 12 Golden Age reprints from titles such as All Select Comics, Captain America Comics, Marvel Mystery Comics, Young Allies Comics. And All Select Comics was centered around the Golden Age heroine Blonde Phantom, who may or may not have been wearing a red dress, who debuted in issue number 11. She became so popular that the book would be renamed The Blonde Phantom, starring with issue number 12 until issue number 22. This reprint could be considered the first modern appearance of the Blonde Phantom. But Marcos Martin's black and white take on the heroine may be more enjoyable. And in fact, this is a tough book to find. There is only one graded copy on the CGT census, and it is a 9.8 at that. If you have and now you have a recipe for a possible heater. The last near mint raw copy to sell before this year was over 2 years ago for only $10. Fast forward to last month when a raw near mint sold for $144. And then this week, 3 sales, one at $240, twice at $300. And this has been an amazing run-up for a variant that's been around for 15 years with little to no interest. Only time will tell if these get graded and sold. But it's safe to say there won't be a flood of these books in the market anytime soon. If you've got them, grade them.
Right? If you have them. A lot of people haven't even heard of this, didn't even know it existed. It's kind of interesting that it has been sitting there in the background and nobody was snatching it up.
I love the typeface, the font on the cover of this book. I just think it's phenomenal. It really pops out. It really gives that old metropolitan vibe to it.
A little bit of a noir feel.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you guys think?
So hot, to touch the hiney. I'll stop.
Yes. 10 points to anyone who knows where that was from. By the way.
I'm leaving it to the chat. Does anybody in the chat know what he just did?
Yep.
Let's go.
Nobody yet. It's like crickets out there. Yeah, this is a good one. I like the coloring. I think it's pretty cool.
I've never seen this book until now. It's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
First time.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here, guys. If you are just hopping in, first Shaker of the week, All Select Comics 70th anniversary special. This is the variant cover, which came out in 2009 with a top sale hitting $300. It's pretty great. Billy Madison, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. CoverPrice.
There's my people. There's my people.
All right, Shaker number 2. What do we have, Bill?
J. Scott Campbell. This is a guy that I have stalked for so many years of my life since I first started collecting comics. And at number 2, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 648 by J. Scott Campbell, Spider-Girl 1 in 100 variant, Marvel 2010. So writer Dan Slott was just 2 years into his time on The Amazing Spider-Man when Marvel published the new arc Big Time with ASM 648. Now, Scott added a new cast of characters, gave Peter Parker a real job, and introduced villains like the Sinister Six and Doc Ock. In addition, the oversized issue contained a backup story featuring Spider-Girl by Paul Tobin and Clayton Henry. Now, upon publishing, Amazing Spider-Man 648 received a regular cover by Humberto Ramos, a blank variant, a 1 in 15 sketch by Stefano Cassini, a 1 in 25 wraparound by Marcos Martin, and 2 J. Scott Campbell 1 in 100 retailer variants. While the sketch and color variant featuring Spidey and Spider-Girl are both retailer incentives, the color version has traditionally held a higher price tag. In the past, this book has sold for around $1,000 for graded 9.8 copies, but raw copies have been selling high in the past year. And recently, we saw a Near Mint Plus sold for $900. The last raw recorded in 2023 was $300 for an ungraded copy. And I tell you the truth, I can't tell you how many boxes of J. Scott Campbell covers and comics I have. This is just absolutely another beautiful masterpiece from a man. So I highly love seeing this bad boy on the list.
I can't believe that jump, though. That's insane. That's, you guys, 3 times what it was selling for in 2003 for an ungraded copy. That's pretty incredible.
That's J. Scott Campbell, girl. Just put some respect on the name, okay?
You know, honestly, I'm going to be honest here. This cover does nothing for me.
Yep.
Sorry.
I don't
Phil,
know.
I'm sorry, Phil. I gotta agree with Laura.
Every J. Scott Campbell does something for me. I'll tell you what, unless it's like that Mojo cover. All right, that's X-Men Black. That Mojo cover. That's the one cover. Did nothing for me. But no, I like my retailer incentives. I do like my ratio variants, and I know that that's just a little bit of added scarcity to it. So I know when I'm able to come across one of those, it's even though it's Jay and there's so many different people that collect him and have the comics, I know I'm getting something that's a little bit more rare in my repertoire and collection of comics by him. And so this is something that, I mean, is it going to be like one of my wall posters? No, that's like Le Chat Noir, right? You know, there's so many different ones.
Oh, yeah.
But this bad boy, though, I know having it in my box is something very more few people will. So this is just kind of one of those things like, oh, you're a J. Scott Campbell collector? Oh, you are? Really? Okay, do you have this? Where the hell is that?
It's a flex, right? And Lando, you would have spent $900 on this?
This is a flex. This is a flex. 100%.
What do you think?
I'm not going 900 on this. Like I said, I'm lined up with you here. I think it's a okay cover. J. Scott Campbell is just phenomenal at what he does, but I don't know.
This is something I'd probably pay around 200 for.
Yeah, but you did mention there's the black and white one, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I mean, this is, like I said, this is something I would put up to 200 on. I mean, it also depends on the condition and where it's coming from. Sometimes too, like if it's coming from a retailer I really like, or a person like I also put that on the back of the back of my books, like who I get them from, right? Yeah. Like maybe this was from Bird City, maybe this is from my friend Jeff, maybe this is from my friend Theo. You know, I actually put that on the back of my books because that is something that to me is a loose little tree of who I've acquired this from and why it's something that I wanted. Yeah, but I got it from a person I cared about, right?
Phil's being all sentimental. Look at him.
I love it.
But he's drawing little hearts on his long boxes. All right.
Laura,
just a tear once in a while, you know.
Yeah. When it comes to this, though, something to remember: this is a 1 in 100 ratio. So yes, it is rare, but it is highly likely that any print of these out in the wild are going to be near mint. Like they're going to be perfect because they came to the stores in such small ratios, and the stores immediately put them into bags and boards. And whoever bought them, it's very unlikely that they took them out of the bags and boards. So
I don't know. I've had so many of our ratios have turned up just banged to shit. our
Yep.
1 in 500s have come just destroyed. So even though they're ratios, doesn't mean that they arrive in mint condition. Very rarely do they give us replacements for these. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or you get those one per stores in a poly bag.
Right, there you go. Exactly. All right, shaker number 2, Amazing Spider-Man 648, the J. Scott Campbell Spider-Girl 1 in 100 ratio from 2010, a near mint raw copy going for $900. All right, what do we got next?
Well, guys, this is one that actually surprised me, but check this out because Batman Spawn #1, Greg Capullo Virgin unsigned comp copy 1 in 1000 by DC in 2022. If you are a Spawn enthusiast, this is a collector's dream if you're looking for fantastic artwork at a price that doesn't hurt the wallet. But don't expect to cash in on any windfalls. However, once every year or so, there are outliers to this franchise that go against the grain. Usually, these more lucrative editions come up at conventions, retailer exclusives, or in this case, comped copies. To clarify, this book isn't an actual 1 in 1000 retailer incentive variant. Those copies were already commissioned based on the total orders from the shops. These were unsigned freebies slipped inside the boxes along with the signed copies at launch. These unsigned copies were less of a print run of the signed ones, thus rarer and resulting in greater value. This week, we had one of these rare unsigned copies reach a record high of $600 for a CGC 9.8. To keep this in perspective, the census lists 176 signed copies and only 8 unsigned with 1 qualified. Out of those 8, 7 others are listed at 9.8. So we could see this gain even more ground if those other copies surface. Guys, I had no idea this even existed, to be honest with you. I've seen the signed ones. Never saw this.
So these are like leftovers. They're leftovers that were included in the boxes as like swag for retailers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that's what makes the Shakers list so compelling, because there's stuff that we would never in a million years even know existed. But a 9.8 going for $600 seems rather reasonable when you only have 8 of them on the census right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are very low numbers, but like I said, I've never even heard about this. Like the signed ones, I've seen plenty, right? I think when Batman Spawn was coming out, like everybody was hyped about this, right? The crossover just the covers alone were amazing. There were so many good ones. It was like one of my favorites was probably the Jim Lee, to be honest. But
oh yes,
yeah,
yes,
definitely.
But the 1 in 1000, I didn't even bother. I was like, yeah, this is totally going to be out of my budget range. But now seeing this unsigned copy, I was like, ooh, this is interesting. So I'm curious to see as well if we're going to see more.
Yeah, the chat's kind of up in a fury right now. They're like, really? You guys are putting a 1 in 1000 on the list? But hey, guys, this is just what you guys are buying. We don't make the list. You guys do.
But not exactly a 1 in 1000.
Not exactly. That's true. It's kind of, I don't even know what you would call this. A fluffy one? It's fluffy.
A fluffy.
The 1 in 1000. Yeah. Oh man, that could be really bad. Batman Spawn #1, Greg Capullo, the Virgin unsigned comp copy. That's what we should call it. The 1 in 1000 from DC came out in 2022. 9.8 going for $600. Moving along nicely. We have almost 50 of you in the house with us right now, guys. Thank you for being here. What do we have for shaker number 4, Chris?
Shaker number 4, since we're approaching the middle of the list, I'd like to remind everybody to like, share, and subscribe. Talk about this stream to your friends. Share it on Instagram, Twitter, or X. Just find somebody on Discord and share it with them. Really sharing and linking to the stream helps the algorithm, and it'll help us get more exposure. And the more exposure we get, the more people get to join us into the live chats. So this is your chance to get on the board right here. We got Duckman from Dark Horse in 1990. I know some of these exist out there. I've seen them in the wild. It was pretty surprising to see one on the Shakers list, though. Here's a blast from the past for sure. Many other 90s children, like myself, may remember the TV series Duckman with Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. Voicing the protagonist. I kind of think he sounds a bit like Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy, just to give you an idea. It wasn't particularly mainstream, despite it being nominated for 3 Emmys, but the cartoon did develop quite a cult following. However, some may not realize that Duckman got his start in comics, not the cartoon. He began appearing sporadically, initially on the back pages of Dark Horse Presents number 22, and then later in issue number 31, before making his full-blown debut in this book. It's often cited as his first full appearance, and the key Duckman fans typically chase this copy despite it not changing hands very often. This cover nails the style of the series, and the note is just icing on the cake. What the hell are you staring at? Recently, a CGC 9.4, one of 6 on the census, sold for $195. The highest, highest sale in our database. It typically sells for $50, even if it's not graded. It's just one of those 90s gems that have fallen out of the zeitgeist and become less relevant culturally. But there are still those who remember and stoke their fandom with purchases like this one. I remember Duckman, I want to say Comedy Central. It was right after The Critic, and there was a show about a therapist whose son lived on the couch. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember Duckman. It was on late. It was usually on a school night, and I shouldn't have been up that late because I was in high school at the time. But
never heard of this, Chris. And they were giving me crap, guys, backstage before the show started because I've never heard of Duckman. But that's probably why. Isn't Comedy Central that would have been cable? We didn't have enough money for cable. We had like 3 channels and like bunny ears.
Oh, so now we've got to have a sob story for
I didn't have money for kids. I didn't have money for cable. I just stole it from my neighbor like anybody else does. I mean, come on.
Whatever. You guys are rich kids with your Duckman tunes. I had to watch Full House and Little House on the Prairie.
Laura, all you had to do was shift the antenna just a little bit. Just a little bit. You would have got it.
You put it on the right channel, you shake your head fast enough, you can see any of them, okay?
The whole panel's seen this, guys, and I'm sitting here like, what is this? But okay, I'm intrigued. Yeah. It's interesting. Interesting cover. Yeah, the chat apparently is with you guys. They've all seen it, so Dr.
Or think of this like Adult Swim before Adult Swim.
Pretty
That's
much.
the best way that I can put it. The cartoons that were on Comedy Central, it was like today's Adult Swim, only probably less LCD induced.
Yeah.
Victoria's State was on USA. I don't know.
I was gonna say that's a spot on comparison right there. Yeah, Adult Swim before Adult Swim.
All right, good to know. Well, there you go, guys. Very interesting shaker making the list this week. We got Duckman number 1 from Dark Horse in 1990 and 9.4 selling for $195. Because, yeah, it's interesting to see that you have the people that grew up in the 90s that now have the money to go back and buy the stuff that means something to them.
Word.
Next up, well, what do we got, Phil?
On God, ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea I was getting 2 J. Scott Campbells in a row.
Sure. You planned this.
This was 100% a roll of the dice. I didn't even know what the shakers were until Laura emailed me 3 minutes before the show. Okay.
Wow. So you're a huge fan. Good to know. Okay.
I'm gonna no. I'm just gonna give Matt crap for not emailing it to me because he promises he's gonna give me the breakdown. So it's like in that nice broad blown up form of an email directly from Matt. And at number 5, Return of Wolverine number 1, J. Scott Campbell, artist proof, limited to 300, 2018 Marvel. So the fall of 2018 saw the release of The Return of Wolverine, which generated a significant buzz and led Marvel to produce 65 variants for the event. Good God. Fortunately, amidst the plethora of variants, J. Scott Campbell came to the rescue with a striking glow-in-the-dark NYCC exclusive. This week, we're excited to see one of those exclusives hit an all-time high of $650 in a CGC 9.8. And although none of the other variants made significant waves, this specific copy could be considered a standout in the series. So for those curious about the book's key features, Charles Soule is recognized for his work on Daredevil, took the reins as the writer of this monumental endeavor, along with Mike Hawthorne, created the character Persephone. Although she made small cameo appearances in The Hunt for Wolverine number 1 and The Hunt for Wolverine Dead Ends number 1, this book, The Return of Wolverine number 1, marks her first full appearance. So keep in mind, if you seek out one of these rarer copies, make sure you inspect the numbering on the bottom right corner, as it's limited to 2000 version is also available, and you would want one of the 1 in 300s. This is sick. I have not seen this copy before. It is cool too because J. Scott Campbell doesn't get a lot of recognition for his male characters hitting big lists and big buys. Very often we can see Black Cats and Harley Quinns and numerous femme fatales, in my opinion, gracing the covers of his books that people just throw gobs of money at. But when you actually get a solo male character on there hitting the list, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I'm excited.
People to say his guys look too feminine for his taste, though. His men even look kind of. This one doesn't, but
you know, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's got a thing. Everybody's got their favorite artists, but I've always been a fan. So yeah, this is a good one.
So are the claws the glow in the dark feature?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What?
Are the claws the glow in the dark feature?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty sick when you do it that way.
Yeah, Phil, I was gonna say I agree with you. Obviously with J. Scott Campbell's more feminine characters, obviously doing relatively well on the secondary market, but this one pushing some numbers. And guys, cheap plug, I got to cover this particular sale Sunday on my show simply because I am subscribed to CoverPrice, and they have daily shakers. Yes, this popped up on Sunday and blew my mind. I was like, oh wow, I've never even seen this, and
I never knew it existed.
Yeah, dude. Return of Wolverine had so many variants. You said 65, right? Like
65.
Yeah, I don't remember if you remember. Just the cover A itself had like multiple variants of like different costumes of Wolverine too. So like this one's standing out above the crowd. No surprise.
Yeah, this one's pretty sick. Getting a nice glow in the dark cover too. I mean, those are always a thing, but standing out from the other books at NYCC is always a lovely feat to see done. So I'm a big fan, proponent. Love this book. Check. But no,
check. There you go, guys.
I don't own this book. This is one of the few. And
nobody does. The whole chat's at 0.
Yeah, this is something where I knew of the cover, but I never knew that they made a glow in the dark. I really not like this. So yeah, I'm guessing. I'm not really sure if it said in the standing, but if just the 300 were glow in the dark, and the other print count was as well too. But this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't say, but there you go. Halfway through the list, we got Return of Wolverine #1, J. Scott Campbell. The artist proof, limited to 300, came out in 2018, 9.8, going for $650. All right, Lando, what do we have for 6?
Guys, I cannot stress it enough. Video game books. I swear to God, they're just so good. Silent Hill, Dead Alive, #1. This is the Zimmerman RI 1:15 ratio. IDW 2005. Now, Silent Hill is one of the most recognizable horror media franchises. I think it goes without saying. While it originally started as a survival horror video game, the property has branched out into many mediums like movies, novelizations, and comic books. The first series debuted in 2004, titled Silent Hill Dying Inside, and drew a lot of fan attention. IDW released a few one-shots, but returned to a limited series format with Dead Alive, which ran for 5 issues. This book was released with 5 variant covers. The cover by Zimmerman was the only retailer incentive, making it an instant collectible among fans of the series. Although no sales have currently been recorded for graded books, there are currently 4 books on the CGC census. 3 of those books are a 9.8 grade, and the 4th one is a 9.9, a rarity for a book from 2005. This past week, we saw a new all-time high for a raw near-mint copy of the book that was selling for $100. The previous all-time high was $36.50 in January of 2021. The series itself has a lot to look forward to for their video game franchise. In fact, this October will see the Silent Hill 2 remake's release, and the studio plans to release the brand new game Silent Hill F in 2025. We'll likely see more sales related to Silent Hill as fans are reminded why this property is one of the top horror franchises. Yep. Can't stress it enough, guys. Video game books. And this one is a very neat one. 1 in 15 ratio. Again, so far, I'm seeing the chat 0-6. And I myself am part of that list because it's another one I didn't know existed.
Yeah, this cover's haunting too. I believe this series is an anthology, correct?
Sorry?
This whole series, it's an anthology series, correct?
I believe so. So it's
I think it is. I remember coming across a copy of this a long time ago, and I think each one's like a little independent issue. But this one, that's nightmares. Stuff of nightmares is on this cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's one I don't own.
Yeah, I if I had this, I would not display it. It would be for sale.
Word, word, bro, word. This is something that goes in the box.
Yeah, I you know what? I might display it near my boxes so my kids stay away from my comics.
Yeah, I know, right? This is the first box. It's the first comic in there, so when they pull it out, they're like, God,
yeah. Never again.
Yeah.
I do like the art though. It has it looks like an oil painting.
It looks like one, yeah.
Kind of reminds me of a really twisted Frazetta style.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Nobody in the chat. Once again, I feel so bad for everybody out there that's watching right now because we were just getting zeros across the board. But Silent Hill, Dead and Alive, #1. The Zimmerman retailer incentive, 1 in 15 from IDW back in 2005, selling near mint raw for $100. And listen to Black Crown. He knows. Find your video game variants and keep them. Keep a hold of them. Shaken #7. What do we got?
All right. Well, here's another chance to get on the board. And this is an offer list. That is the nature of the Shakers list. These are wild, crazy books that have popped up and sold. But hey, you got a chance right here. Nothing special about this. It's not a weird jewelry ad in the middle. It's not a reverse print cover on backwards. This is just good old Swamp Thing #9 by DC.
Bomb ass cover.
Awesome cover. 1974. The cover artist is Bernie Wrightson. And he is as legendary as it gets in the comic industry, hailed by other artists as the greatest who ever lived, the master, the star of which to chart your course. These quotes come from the industry giant Joss Whedon and Del Toro. Wrightson is widely renowned as one of, if not the greatest horror artists of our time, credited as the co-creator of Swamp Thing, along with the writer Len Wein. Wrightson lent his talents to numerous horror works over the years. Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein, Creepshow, House of Secrets, as well as some notable superhero works, Batman the Cult. After Swamp Thing's introduction in House of Secrets #92, Wrightson and Wein joined for the first solo Swamp Thing series in 1973. These books and their covers are iconic and easily recognizable due to the cover layout and Wrightson's unmistakable style. Wrightson only worked on the series for a short time, contributing only to the first 10 issues. This week, a CGC 9.8 copy of issue #9 of this run sold for a new all-time high of $630. It is the highest sale of this book in nearly 2 years, and a good number of these books, the census at this grade, over 100. But it is a testament to a long-standing adoration of Wrightson's work and the character he was so integral to creating. Yeah. Ooh, that was a long read.
No, you nailed it. That's great.
I love this guy's art. Anytime I see a Creepshow or a House of Secrets in the dollar bins or anything like that features Wrightson's art, I always pick it up. This is just one of those cover artists that even if the book is nothing spectacular, you just have to get. Neil Adams is up there. Norm Brayfogle, his old Batman, is up there for me. It's just there's something about it, and the way that he depicts his character with the colors and the shading. I never really cared so much for Swamp Thing as a character, but you cannot deny the impressive stature and impression that the art of these books give.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I couldn't agree more. And in fact, like this particular issue, number 9, it's really a straight cover buy. It's something that like you want in your collection based on the cover alone.
This is an iconic cover, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Every single time you put this on a wall, you thumb it through a box, somebody says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait. How much? How much? How much?"
Yep.
Everybody asks every single time you put that out there, how much? And it's for a
Absolutely.
reason. Number one is Bernie, which is, fantastic. Everybody's got a little Wrightson collection in their comic books. I don't care who you are. But number two, this cover, honestly, this is probably one of the most outside of him creeping in the back, which we know for that beginning. This is one of the most iconic Swamp Thing covers there is. So seeing this on the list is probably the book that makes the most sense to me in every way, shape, or form. Being here and seeing that break a record, that to me makes sense.
Now,
Well, somebody in the comments is saying that it was tough for the paper because it was really flimsy. I remember we had one of these, we sold it, but the paper was like tissue. So yeah, and I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's an evergreen piece. This is just so indicative of the character. You want to slab it, you want to put it on the wall. When I think of Wrightson, though, don't you guys think Frankenstein?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
He's got that.
That's like
He's the perfect monster.
He's
treat.
perfect.
Yeah.
His Frankenstein illustrations were fantastic. So yeah, this is a very cool piece. I don't think anybody in the chat owned one, which was just, I thought maybe somebody out there might. Swamp Thing number 9 from DC, 1974. A top sale. It seems like a really good deal to me, a 9.8 going for $630. And I'm guessing that person's going to hold on to it for years to come.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. What do we have for Shaker number 8, Phil?
Check it out, guys. Every iconic artist, guess they're starting. That's with The Terminator, The Burning Earth number 1. Now 1990, and this one is the man Alex Ross is right here. You can take you can't take a name like Alex Ross and not really know, but in case you don't, he's responsible for like the Kingdom Come and most recently that depiction of Dr. Doom. It's beautiful. Alex Ross is a tremendous artist, and very often at conventions he actually has a gallery. That's one of my favorite things to peruse through at every convention is the Alex Ross gallery, where you can actually go and get prints and framed art, because he is tremendous, incredibly talented and prolific, but came from humble beginnings, starting with this book at 19. 19. I didn't know that. This series was released fresh after the completion of the popular Terminator comic series that concluded the year prior. It takes a deeper look into Skynet, John Connor's failings, and the man's resolve to fight on. It's deeper stuff, but it's often forgotten because it's not technically considered canon. And for us Star Wars fans, we all know what that feels like. Despite that, though, fans still have had it on their radar due to it being the first work from the man Alex Ross, and is a must-have for any diehard fan. So luckily, it's not an crazy expensive book. Raw copies can often be found for under $10 in decent condition. However, recently, a CGC 9.8 was sold for $200. Now, that's a $50 jump from the last high sale in May, and it's the first jump we've seen towards a higher barrier of entry. So this has been hanging in steadily around $150 for years, with 66 copies in the CGC 9.8 census. It's not an impossible book to find, and it isn't really trading hands often either. But one lucky fan might have seen their opportunity and opted to terminate that buy it now button and picked this bad boy up. I did not know that this was actually the debut of Alex Ross, because when you look at it too, it doesn't scream Alex Ross. But when you think
really
about,
doesn't.
When you think about the fact that bro was 19 in 1990 doing this, and how far he's come and how iconic and he's come in the industry too. Like there's certain artists that you see a cover, right away, especially when it comes to modern comics. You just know. And Alex Ross has to be like top 3. If you don't, if not number 1, just because there's so many other, between inking and sketching and everything else, you can kind of just be like, I think I know who that is. I think I know who that is. But Alex Ross, there's like no confusing. It looks like a tremendous, well done painting, took months to complete kind of thing. It doesn't look like, you know, something somebody worked on in a day. Yeah. Everything by Alex Ross is just so clean. And you know it when you see it, and it's crazy. So I love this.
This actually puts me on the board. I have 2 of these.
Really?
So what are you doing with the second one?
I picked them up a while ago because I'm a big Alex Ross fan. For those of you who are talking about Art Germ, that is an artifact from an old slide. You guys can ignore it, but I mean, hey, Alex Ross, you know, he's legendary. I love his work. His work on Kingdom Come got me interested in Superman again when it came out. Him and Frank Miller's work in DC is absolutely incredible, and anything new that comes up with Alex Ross, I try to get because his art is so incredible, just beautiful to look at. And yes, I have 2 of these because I love the way it looks, and it's his first work.
Yeah, people in the chat are surprised by this price tag. Everybody's like, it should have been more. What do you think, Lando?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm actually very surprised by the price tag. And Phil, to add to what you were saying, yeah, I agree, man. Alex Ross, immediately, right? You think of, I think of Kingdom Come. That's probably immediately where my mind goes to, and how you can immediately distinguish like Alex Ross work. And here, I agree, man. It's just like you look at this cover, and it's like I did not know this would have been Alex Ross. There's several artists that, you know, immediately you know their work. Like in modern time, we're talking today's time, like John Boy Myers. I know right away it's him. One that now I get mixed up is Delato, because you have Marco Mastrazzo, who's not too far off, right? So I'm looking for that signature nowadays. But yeah, man, this is awesome. I'm surprised. $200. That's relatively cheap. I think that's a very good buy. Whoever bought this, congratulations.
Definitely, yeah. I think a lot of the first works are undervalued.
Yeah, 9.8 for 1990.
Yeah. Now, hold on. Would you, if you bought this in a 9.8 for $200, because I think that's a good price, would you take the gamble, crack it open, and get it signed?
Amen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, I have one that's mine are not slabbed. I don't think I would crack it to get it signed. I would just get the nicer of my 2 copies signed, which is probably like a 9.6 or a 9.8 itself.
Yeah.
See, that gold label would look good, though, right?
For me, though, right? If this is about collecting a person's first work, I want their signature. This isn't to me about the Terminator, the Burning Earth.
No,
this is about this is 110% to me about Alex Ross. Yeah. And to know that I went up there and I had his signature on it. Now, granted, I'm not a slabber myself. I've got like, maybe somebody's got a few thousand comics. I'll have less than 5 slabs. I have less than 5 slabs. I just don't do it. So to me, getting the signature on it on his first published work is more important than a 9.8. Yeah. And that's just, to me, as that kind of guy, I don't know, probably everybody disagrees with me. It's probably sacrilege to everybody that's, looking at it that route. But to me, it's 100% just something that if it's his first work and I can get his signature on it, yeah. Can
you imagine what he would say too? You bring the thought to him. He's like, "Oh, I remember this." He's 19 years old. Somebody in the chat was saying that they think that now comics stiffed on paying him. I'm curious if that's true. We'll have to dig around and see if
that would be the conversation piece that could bring it up, though. Too, he might look at it and be like, "That's fucking book right there. I missed rent because of this thing, and I didn't get to pay. I couldn't go out on that date, and I didn't do this thing with that girl, and the whole world fell apart." This is gonna, to me, that's a story. That's something you bring it up to him. He looks at you and he's just like, wow, you
make that connection. Yeah.
I love that Phil went far enough to mention that he couldn't go on a date because of that.
Okay, look, as an older comic book collector, there's a lot of comics that came between me and ever getting a date. All right. So it could happen.
Number 8, or shaker number 8, guys. We have the Terminator, the Burning Earth number 1. This is the Alex Ross variant, 1-in-20 ratio from Now Comics back in 1990. 9.8, going for a very reasonable $200 if you are a fan of Ross, which we all are. Yeah, let's keep on cruising. What do we have for shaker number 9?
Well, we were speaking recognizable artists, and here we've got
True.
Witchblade's 25th anniversary number 1 by Tyler Kirkham. It is the 2020 San Diego Comic-Con Virgin by Image, and it came out July 29, 2020. Now, David Wohl, Brian Haberlin, Michael Turner, and Mark Silvestri created Witchblade, first published by Top Crow Productions in 1995. The story revolves around Sarah Pezzini, a New York City detective who discovers the Witchblade, a supernatural artifact that bonds and grants her incredible powers. Witchblade was adapted into a live-action television in 2001 and an anime in 2006. It appears that fans are scouring the market for interesting and unusual Witchblade variant covers. This recent shaker was released in 2020 and is the only Witchblade comic released between the original series and the new one that launched just this week, which I hope you guys had the opportunity to pick up. This cover is a Virgin variant San Diego Comic-Con created by Tyler Kirkham. The regular Kirkham variant with the trade dressing goes for $50. A recent ungraded copy of this book sold for $100. Considering the excitement around the new series, I would not be surprised if the new interest in this and other Witchblade variants causes a rising tide to lift all boats. And yeah, couldn't agree. Witchblade's back, guys. Who's excited?
Were you agreeing about rising all boats?
Yeah, well, I definitely think
I'm sorry. I'm 100%.
I think it's gonna rise the boat.
All right, okay.
Oh my god, I got nothing here. I'm like the only female in this. Oh, I will say this though. I think there's something, and guys, I have all met on the panel tonight. Something about like under boob is like sexier than like full boob.
Word.
So
Yeah,
word.
Is that true? Is that the case?
Yes. Vote. A hands up. A hands up.
Yeah, you guys can't see backstage, but I think we got a unanimous. Chris, no.
Under
Chris?
boob.
Chris is like, no, full boob.
He wants the main course, no entree.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I mean,
I don't.
It's more than a mouthful. It's a waste, right? But you know,
I don't buy comics for boobs.
Yeah.
That's just. Sorry.
Now, guys, I have to ask the question because we have Phil on the panel, who of course is a huge
Phil on the panel,
who is a huge J. Scott Campbell fan. Now, if we got to get one artist to draw the dream woman for you, is it Kirkham or is it going to be Campbell?
Oh, it's Campbell.
Campbell.
I would like to see the chat. Kirkham or Campbell
there. Yeah,
for your dream other. Kirkham or Campbell.
It's Frizen. She's the only one that does like realistic. Well, she's not the only one, but she's one of the few that does realistic boobs.
Is anybody shocked with Laura's response? Show of hands.
Frizen, her boobs are like perfect the way she does them. They fall perfectly. Everything looks like naturally. Like I don't know. This is just a little bit too.
Yeah.
Round. This is getting way off topic. This whole thing's just going.
Somebody help her with her shirt.
She's got to rip it off.
I'm getting a couple of JFCs, some Frank Cho's. I can see Frank Cho. I can see that. I can see that.
Frank Cho is again one that does women, like a female body, really well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying anybody does these bad. I'm just making my comment that
Campbell, huh? Campbell.
I'm there. What up, Lefty?
All right. Well, there you go, guys. Witchblade 25th anniversary, number 1. The Tyler Kirkham 2020 San Diego Comic-Con Virgin variant that came out from Image back in 2020. Top sale, near mint raw, going for $100. And yeah, I have a feeling that Phil would just drop money at this all day. So
Yep.
Probably.
Okay, let's keep on going. Wait, actually, we only have one shaker left. How'd that happen? Our list is almost over.
That's it.
Here we go. Last but not least.
Shaker number 10. Okay, now see, I'm kind of a prude. I don't buy pretty girl covers, but I buy tech covers. I buy homage covers. I buy covers that look like other things. This would be a cover that I buy. I would snap by this instantly if I saw it on the shelves. We got X-Files Transformers Conspiracy number 1. This is the Joe Oh, wow. Let's see here. Coroni. Let's go with that. Joe Coroni, retailer variant by IDW in 2014. IDW has published countless popular properties over the years, and two of the largest are X-Files and Transformers. These two properties have had multiple comic runs within IDW publishing, with X-Files beginning in 2013 with the Series 10 title, and Transformers getting their start in their first IDW series in 2009. In 2014, a lone gunman-focused X-Files miniseries titled X-Files Conspiracy was released, along with various team-ups with other popular properties released in one-shot format. These team-ups included Ghostbusters, The Crow, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Transformers. A few of these books have been mentioned on our Shakers Reports before, one in 2019, and again recently when a Ghostbusters cover B variant was the focus. This week, the attention is on the much harder to find ratio variants, particularly the Transformers by Joe Coroni. This book has long been a good seller in the aftermarket, but has proven to pop up for sale only occasionally. This week's sale of $100 for a very fine copy, not even near mint, just very fine, is an all-time high for the grade and rivals the price of the near mint copy of $125, which was set last February. And that is amazing. I love everything about these kind of layouts. The best comic book covers to me are the ones that don't look like comic book covers. Unless they're like Golden Age, right? Those have a special place in my heart. But I love the way that this is laid out. I love the black and white with the old font. It's just very cool.
This is awesome. I think this is by far my favorite on the entire list. Somebody's saying there's one on eBay right now for $500 raw. So I mean, a very fine raw for $100 seems like kind of a steal.
Yeah.
Word.
I'm curious to know what's the condition of that $500 one, but yeah, I agree.
That's
like
a real post.
Right. But I love the news headline style for this cover. I think it's awesome, very fitting, especially for X-Men and a Transformers crossover, right? But yeah, this is neat. Now, Coroni is an artist I'm not too familiar with, and prior to coming on the show, obviously we got to take a quick glance at the list, and when Googling, obviously he's had some, work featured for Star Wars stuff, and I gotta say his Star Wars stuff is actually really neat too.
Yeah.
Good
to know.
Awesome. Yeah, but this is this is an awesome cover. This is probably my favorite cover of the week. I go ahead and go on record on that.
All right, very cool, guys. Last shaker of this week anyway, X-Files Transformers Conspiracy #1, the Joe Coroni retailer variant from IDW back in 2014. A very fine raw going for $100. And I think we're all going to be like running to go find this on eBay now. But before we let you guys go, we have John from CoverPrice here with us tonight. You got some special announcement that you want to tell everybody about?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So first of all, hey everybody. It's always good it's so funny to be in this room and see you guys. So I made some pretty big promises, and I'm not going to let you down. I promise.
Okay.
So, couple things. I'm going to show you very quickly. Let me share my screen. Give me a sec. So San Diego Comic-Con's coming up, and CoverPrice is pretty much the only ones with the most exclusive variant or exclusive cover list ever. We have literally spent the week tracking down every single variant and exclusive that's going to be at Comic-Con, and we put it in a new wrapper. Watch this. So it's funny. Hannah on our content team reached out and was like, "Can we add more hours to the team to actually make sure that this is like perfect?" And I'm like, "Yes." So they're working overtime just to make sure that all the information's there. But check this out, everyone. Let's say we want to see what Bird City's going to sell over at Comic-Con. Oh, I didn't spell it correctly. My bad. Boom!
Oh my God!
See what booth it's going to be at. Well, when we have that information, we probably have to get that from you. If you want, for example, to see, let's say, KRS.
Do KRS. I was going to say do KRS. They probably have a ton.
There's everything. You can click in, see the full thing. We also have pre-release sales. If you want to go and say like, and we're going to go through this on tomorrow's show, but if you want to just see like go through a publisher and be like, okay, I wonder what like Dynamite. I'm kind of scared to do Dynamite, but let's see. Dynamite's going to have boom, bring all that up.
When you do boom, I want to see boom.
You want to see boom? All right. But I got boom when I do it. Boom. Oh wait. I have to put it in here
because like boom probably isn't getting published by
boom published
by Dynamite right now.
Yeah, here we go. So here's what boom is doing. And again, tomorrow we're going to go through each of these and see what's kind of cool, what's good.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
Check this out. You can now the entire list. You can actually filter by raw or slab sales, and you can see pre-sale information. Like check this out. Berserker is going for $20. You can buy it. It's already selling for $85.
Look at that spawn.
There's a ton of stuff going on, but I'm not going to bore you with that because we'll be talking about that next time. Well, if we talk about that tomorrow.
Very cool.
I'm not bored. I want to keep going, but okay.
Yeah.
So that's one cool thing. Second cool thing I wanted to
there's
share.
more?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wait,
there's so much more.
there's more.
Yeah.
There's so much more. We are doing a giveaway. We have a panel at Comic-Con Saturday at 5 p.m. Come and watch. We are going to talk about, is it time for the modern era or the modern age to be broken up into smaller eras? And what should we call it? Yeah. So I'm going to post this survey in chat right now. But if you take the survey, which is like 5 minutes long, you are in the running to win these cool Clayton Crane variant sets. I think it's the 5th print and the 7th. They're limited to 242 each. So incredibly limited print run. I'm going to post it right here. It's in the chat, or it should be. There you go. It's going to be good until Monday or Tuesday of next week. So you have the weekend. Don't leave and do it right now, because the cool thing I'm going to show you is look at JD doing that. The coolest thing is this: we just launched a brand new series page that we've been really working on. The team has been working. Jim on our team has been completely stressing out and working his ass off on it, and it totally shows. So check this out. If I type in Amazing Spider-Man and I decide to go see the series, and let's say today we saw a lot of J. Scott Campbell stuff in here. Mm-hmm. This is the brand new page, okay? You can now go to this, and first of all, check this out. 267 standard covers. You can now see all of the variants in line, 797 comics in that series, and you can now go through and see every single variant. You can see it in grid view. You can see it in no frills, like just give me the information view. You can see it in list view. You can filter the whole thing. You can say like, okay, including variants, what is in this entire series, including every single variant, what is the highest raw sale of this series? Oh, not unexpected. What is the highest slab sale of this entire series? Like slabbed comic. Not. I guess it's the same in terms.
Ron, this is like unheard of. Nobody else has this.
No. You don't even have to go down into the comic book page anymore, because we'll pull up the price table right here.
I love
that. That's helpful. That's very helpful.
Details. Yeah, and you can see all the sales. If you click on any of these, it'll go directly to like the very fine, near mint, stuff like that. So much more. It's like it's insane. If I wanted to right now, watch this. I can say we talked about. Well, first of all, like what are all the 1 in 25s of this entire series? Oh, whoops, where is it? Oh, I have to turn on the variants. Bear with me for a second. Always when it's live, right?
Nice. Yeah, it did. It sorted it right away.
Wow.
1 in 25, 1 in 25. What about the 1 in 50? So if you're like a ratio collector, yeah, we got that. No worries, right? Boom. What if you wanted to see only for Phil on the screen right now? Let's do Campbell. Boom. So here's all of the J. Scott Campbell covers. So
when you click that arrow on the right side of each one of those lines, you could add them to wish list directly, right?
Exactly. So you can put it in collection, wish list, marketplace. You can go and see it if it's for sale anywhere. So we've been working really hard. Oh, and the other thing I should say, one last thing, is people have always said like, I want to be able to add everything to my collection as soon as possible. No problem. Now you can click on and do this whole page or every single comic in here, and you can add them instantly. We've enhanced it. So for example, if I add these two, I can either add them both to my wish list all at once or add to my collection. You get the simplified version if you put like a graded company, you get more information. Or I can do every single bit of information that is in CoverPrice about your comics. Now you can put it onto everything all at once and save yourself time. So
you guys are increasing the user experience. You're decreasing the amount of clicks that are needed. This is phenomenal.
You're gonna make us all lazy. We don't have to do anything anymore.
Well, it's funny because we've been in dev, on the development environment where it's not live. We've been playing with this, and we're like, oh my god! Like the coolest thing is on if we go to mobile view and we go to list view, so it's different. Check this out. We showcase the most common condition right here. But if you want to, you can say so the most common condition basically means the grade that is sold the most. So it's most typically in people's collections, and that's our rationale. But you can go in and just quickly look at this and say, okay, I want to see the 9/8. Now you can compare the raw and slabbed and find gap books. Really interesting, right? Really, really quickly. You can quickly just get to the price table without having to dive in. And so if you're going through a long box, you can go through the entire series right there and just quickly find the one you're looking for. And then, of course, if you wanted to, you can just type in like the number you're looking for. Let's say number 8. Whoops, why did I type in 38? You have to know how to type, though. That's the first part. Sure. If you put in 8, it'll go directly to it. So if you're going through long boxes and you're at Comic Cons or local comic shops, quickly just type in the information and it'll pop it up. So mobile friendly, desktop friendly, tablet friendly. I mean,
can you sort your collections by that now too?
You can in terms of if you go to
like by J. Scott Campbell. Like if I just wanted to, I went into mine and just
that's not hooked up yet, but you can go into your series, and since we got it working on the series page, we'll probably bring that over into the collection, so you'll be able to search right here. Let me check. I feel like silly if it's working and I said it wasn't.
Oh, I was just wondering. I'm sorry. I just threw it in there. I apologize.
No, because that is a good question. Can you?
Yeah. Boom!
Oh, you can.
Look at that shit!
Wow!
Merry Christmas, everybody. Phil asked the question and it works.
All right. Thank you for asking that very important question.
That's
Phil,
that's cool for me.
And add it to a virtual box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then you can quickly say, okay, I'm going to put all of these in my virtual box. I'm going to create a new one called Campbell.
Yep.
Or things I want to sell, or things to share, or whatever. All of that is now in a virtual box, and I can say, tell me what that entire virtual box is worth right now. Go into that virtual box, and I can see all my comics. See what they're
worth. Guys, this is
amazing.
$5 a month.
Yep. That to me as a collector is the best thing at all, because now I can actually begin to organize my books in a way that I do and keep track of them in the way that I collect them, right? Because I do have a J. Scott Campbell box, but like when you're looking for it, you're like, oh, that's an ASM. Well, that's a Spider-Gwen. That's you're going through all of them and oh, nope, that's Batman. So, I mean, they're all over the place. So being able to like take my collection and actually just search for my artists like Delato as well too, Turner, things of that nature, you're able to just grab and go. That's a big win. That's a big win.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do so much more where it's like explore your collection, explore a series, like find gap books, know what to do with your collection, see quickly what's trending up. We're bringing in pre-release sales now too. So for like that San Diego Comic-Con and anywhere, you'll start seeing prices before they even come out for like FOC and stuff like that. So anyway, we're really, I was thrilled, and I was like, I can't wait to share it because it's just so powerful, and you're going to spend so much time going through a series and like nowhere else can you see like, oh, there's 50 comics in this series, in this series. You click on variants and you're like 700.
Yeah.
This is
You're
the
so
variant
excited.
age, right?
You can hear it in your voice. Okay, a couple questions from the chat. First, will there ever be like a short video tutorials on how to use different features on the app that we could post on maybe Instagram or YouTube to kind of help guide people across the platform?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We are so bad. We're good at creating and bad at sharing, and that's horrible. And that's why I wanted to come on, because I'm like, we need to actually tell people what we can do. Yes, moving forward, if you go to the YouTube channel and go to the playlist, you will see a playlist for like walkthroughs of different parts of the website. So yes, and also after the show, you guys saw it first, there's going to be an email that's going to hit everybody with a walkthrough of how to use this on mobile. But yeah, moving forward, anytime we do something kind of big, we're always doing stuff in the back end. Like we're always refining, we're bringing in new data, we're restructuring our database from scratch, which is launching in about 2 months. Like there's so much happening that you just don't see. it's like a duck kicking. But when the duck gets to fly, then I'm like, yes, this is cool because there's just beautiful kind of like opportunity. But yeah,
So you're saying mobile, but not necessarily an app yet, correct?
right. So right now we're mobile friendly. We're building everything. You can use it on your phone. Just go to CoverPrice, add a tile to your screen, and then it's a little makeshift app. We are, of course, going to build an app probably at the beginning, starting like next year is when we're looking. But right now we're just trying to add as much as we can to the product and making it like fun to use and usable.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right.
I have CoverPrice open every day. I'm constantly going through. I'm constantly adding. I buy collections in bulk regularly, and after I sort, I use CoverPrice to figure out what to list, what to add to my collection. It's incredibly useful.
Yeah.
$5 a month. Come on, guys, get on this. It is well worth it. You'll never have another collection application like CoverPrice.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, just wanted to show you. Be sure to come to the show tomorrow. We'll go through and we're going to go through the San Diego Comic-Con list in detail and really show what everyone's doing and how to use that new section. And we'll launch that. Like right now, you can't get to it because it's taken us weeks to do this, and we don't want someone to come in and just snipe it. So we're going to launch that, I think, Tuesday night of next week. But I think on Friday, we're going to go through that list in more detail and kind of build some hype for all that stuff that's launching.
And that's the Covered Friday night show with you and Matt, right?
Yeah, at 5:30 Pacific time tomorrow. And don't forget to, in the chat, there's the survey. I'll post it one more time. Go to the survey. Make history. If we rename this and it goes out into, like, it becomes one of the eras, won't that be so cool if it becomes adopted? It'd be a little slice of, like, comic history. So if we can click on it, and we'll all so far we have like about 1,000 responses, which is pretty awesome. If we can get to like 2,000 or 5,000, it'll really help us understand what the market wants, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I got the email. I clicked on take the survey, and then you guys stumped me. You came up with so many categories that we can name the current eras, and I'm like, man, this is
too many options.
This has been hitting us, like people have been asking and talking about this, so it's in our heads, so we're like, we don't want to make a unilateral decision and be like, this is what CoverPrice is going to do. It's really it's your community, and like we want to make sure everybody has a say in it, or at least we hear everybody, and then we can just say okay, because then if someone blames us, we can say 1,000 people said this is what we do. Don't blame us. So.
Awesome. All right, well, yeah, guys, do you have any other questions you want to ask John before I let him go?
John, where can I get one of those hats? I want some CoverPrice merch.
I know, I need some swag.
I always say, if you find us at one of the cons and tackle us, or I'm going to put this on Phil as well. Phil, are you coming to San Diego?
No, sir, I will not be. I'm having some family time, so I may be at New York, but I will not be at San Diego. I won't.
All right, we'll have to. We'll
I've got my hat. It's just right now. It's all my stuff back there. I should have thought I should put my hat on.
It's going to mess up your hair, though. You can't wear a hat.
And once in a while, you just got to.
I mean, like
take one for the team. Take one for the team,
John.
It fits perfectly without hair.
There you go.
But yeah, I always say if you find Matt DeVoe at a Comic-Con, and I say tackle him, but I joke, you can just tap him on the back, and if we have any swag, we'll give you whatever we have. So yeah, that's a great way to find a hat.
Nice.
You heard it, guys. So yeah, if you happen to come across them, but yeah, John, thank you so much for hopping in and letting us know. That's incredible. I'm so proud of you guys. That's amazing. Your platform's just gonna skyrocket from here, and I'm honored to even be a tiny little baby part of it. So well done, CoverPrice.
Thanks.
All right, guys, that was it for us tonight. Let's do a little quick round table before we call it. Chris, any last words?
Just happy to be here, happy to be part of the show, and if you guys can hit me up on Instagram at Dr. Yo-Yo, and there's a link tree in the bio that'll take you to all of my things, all of the things that I do, wacky t-shirts, stuff I sell on eBay, all that kind of stuff. But happy to be here, and keep digging those long boxes, right?
Very good. You'll be here next Thursday. He's part of the regular crew. Phil, thank you so much for filling in. It was great to have you. Any last words?
No pun intended, right? Perfect fill-in. Phil, that's my name. You can find me on Instagram. Some new series and collaborations coming soon. So some big stuff on the Nerd King front coming. And it's going to be it'll be great to see you there. So let me know if I can ever help again. Always happy to. And I'll be around.
Oh, I'm gonna take you up on that for sure. And again, last but not least, Lando, any last words? What do you have coming up? Anything you want to promote?
Well, I want to say thank you guys for having me on tonight, but it's not the last time you're going to see me on CoverPrice because I'm going to be joining John tomorrow, making sure that you guys get covered because, yes, Comics Covered is going to be taking place tomorrow. And, of course, you guys, I do have my own YouTube channel that kicked off a year ago, so feel free to come and check it out. I go live every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time with a new guest. And up until now from this panel, I've had Laura, I've had Phil, Chris, John.
Hit me up.
Expect the DMs, baby.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
All right, very good. Well, again, thank you guys so much for being here. We will be back on Tuesday for the Cover Price Top 10, but do not miss tomorrow's show. Like they were saying, I'm definitely going to tune into that. I'm very curious to see what San Diego Comic-Con has to offer this year. Until then, we will see you guys later and have a good night.
For the entire crew, this is TiVo saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.